All right, friends, looking at our second entry into our X guard, which is going to lead into our triangles, our sweeps, and our triangles. Okay, so again, initially going in, we like the legs crossed here. I scoot in, I get my legs between his legs. Ideally, I want to get to an overhook here and around the neck. I can also be under the body here too. I can also go double underhooks here too. So initially there's going to be, it's not like you're just going to walk in and do that initially. You're going to have a little bit of a battle. So he might fight me here for a sec here. I start to fight, I get one in, keep going, get my second one in. Now when I'm going in here, if I'm going to go double underhooks here, I still need to keep him away from me a little bit so I have some space in here. So you'll notice that when I go in here, I'm using my head. So if he tries to push into me here, my head creates that space so that I can set up those underhooks here. See how that works? So watch, battle again with me. See how he's fighting. Use that head here, fight my way in. Once I get in here, I'm gonna lock my palms together. Thumbs on top. It's gonna be a gable grip, just like that. So here's my gable grip. And I'm using my head right now so that I can move my hips back if I want, forward if I want, back, forward. I don't want to be over here where I get the threat of a guillotine or anything weird like that. So I keep my head at the midline of his body, right on that origin logo. So right here. And I can pull in here to get him off balance too, okay? Now if I start to get him off balance here, he doesn't like that because he thinks I'm going to come up and put him on his butt. So he'll start to go forward. I'm going to go back and I'm going to lift up here. I frame underneath his body here. My legs are still in that nice X. My right hand is gonna go towards his leg. That sets up my left hook. My right hook goes underneath his hip here. And I'm right back where I want it to be in my X guard position, okay? Let's do it again. So initially going in, we're here in that butterfly guard. Once we get in there and we wanna fight with him, we use our head inside here to push off his body here. We might get an overhook here too. If we get an overhook, I try to get to an underhook here. Okay, so that way I have one over the arm, one under the arm here. I can also go to here like we did on the last rep. This time I'm gonna go with an over here and an under here. And I'm gonna start to do the same thing again. I lift, I go under that leg. See how I lift my head up here so I can move my body? My left leg is gonna slide down, open him up. My right leg comes under the hip here and I hug against that leg. And again, I like to keep him opened up so he doesn't have good base. So if you think about balance, right? If your legs are too narrow, you have bad balance. But when your legs are too wide, you also have bad balance. So the idea with this X guard is to open those legs up and give him really bad balance so we can disrupt that posture. Okay, so initially going in, we're doing our hand fighting here. We might get into double underhooks here. We might be over and under here. I'm gonna go back to double under again this time. Now when I go to scoot back, I move my butt towards his body. So my butt's back here. I pull myself in closer here. And I lift with my arms, but primarily with my legs. And remember, crossing them like this, the legs like this, gives you better structure, which makes it easier to lift them up. And that's what we want, easier. So I come forward, I pull into his armpits and I kick him forward here. That puts him on top of my body. My hands can stay right here to kind of keep him up. Slide down 1, 2, 3. Pull myself into that leg right here. And then I can start setting up all my attacks from there. I can disrupt his base, put him on his back, and set up all the fun stuff that I want to set up, which is what we're going to get into in our next section, how to disrupt that base.